Lady, Golden Eagle, Odaly's Gonzalez. Odaly's glad you could join us.
I'm glad to be here.
It kind of took some sorting out. I know you had a busy work schedule, so thanks for making the time to come on the show.
Of course.
So how have you been? You mentioned you've been working a lot, and how have you been handling these past couple of months?
It was tough because I hadn't gotten the chance to send all my information to colleges and like finishing everything that I needed to finish for like some scholarships and stuff. But I got the hang of it. I did everything I had to do. I got a job, so I'm handling like what I have to do for Costal Bend, and then also working. Ooh, froze.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Just technical difficulties on the Wi-Fi on my end. All right, so yeah, we're joined by Odaly's Gonzalez from Brownsville, Hanna. She'll be going to Coastal Bend Community College. We were just welcoming her on the show, so we were just talking about Odaly's, how you had been adjusting these last couple months with your work and with graduation.
Yeah, I had to get everything out, like send out my transcript. I hadn't finished all my paperwork at school. But I managed all of that, and now I graduated, and it was fun. It was very hard actually, because I wasn't the very best at school, so it was hard even everything online.
And we had mentioned earlier how you started your year on the volleyball court, a normal off season, a normal workout. You do your volleyball season, you then shift gears to basketball. Same thing there. You prepare for basketball, you play your basketball season, and then all in the same year, the pandemic hits, and then you guys don't go back to school after spring break. Fortunately for you, you were able to complete your sports. But what was it like from the outside looking on at the seniors, your friends that were playing track, baseball, softball? What was that like for you?
Uh, it sucks that my best friend runs track, so it was really hard for her. She was trying to get better times and all of that, and unfortunately, she didn't even get to do the meet of champs, I think. So it was hard. I mean, I did discus as well, but it wasn't really a sport that I did great in. But so it didn't affect me as much. But I did have teammates that were looking forward to it a lot, and all the workouts, even like right after spring break. But then they canceled, like UIL canceled everything, and it sucks seeing them not be able to complete their seasons. Like I got to complete mine. Just
And,
sucks.
and who would have thought, from a senior's point of view, that you start your senior year and, like I said, as normal, you went to the Friday night football games, you did all the senior things, and then you would have never have said, oh, we'd have to be quarantined in the month of March, April, and we're not sure if we're going to have a graduation. But you guys were able to have a graduation there at Sam Stadium. Having that graduation, was that kind of like uh, having like a sense of relief, feeling like, okay, like we have some sort of normalcy? And was it just a relief for you guys after being, locked in your houses and having so much uncertainty?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how everyone else handled their quarantine, but I was mostly at home, and I didn't really like hang out with my friends or anything. So seeing like my whole class just like walk across the stage was kind of, I mean, it was a good thing knowing that I got my diploma and I got to have that experience that everybody else had as well.
Yeah, and what was the graduation like? I know there were a lot of guidelines that you guys had to follow, and I know the Brownsville School District has done a good job on following those guidelines. But just what was unique about the graduation, and what was so different?
It was everybody was separated a couple feet, obviously, like next to you and in front of you. And once you walked on the stage, you had to leave. So because you know how people take pictures afterwards and all of that, and they didn't want all those people together. So those people walked out, took pictures, and left. So you can, if you were in the beginning, like top 10 or something, and your best friend's last name is a Z, you wouldn't get to see each other after they had to leave, and you had to have your mask on the whole time, and that was basically it.
Definitely. So, you played basketball at Hanna, and you definitely had a strong impact on that program. You guys made the playoffs your junior year with that win against Harlingen South. Walk us back to that moment, and you guys needing to win, and you're in. And I remember the scenario was a little strange because San Benito across town, they were also going for the playoffs, fighting for a playoff spot as well. It was almost a point to where it was almost a playing game, but for you all, it was win and you're in. What
Yeah.
was that? What was that night like for you all?
Well, we knew that if we wanted to win really bad, because we didn't want to play San Benito because it was a 50-50 chance. We knew we could beat them again as well, but we just wanted to get it over with and get that playoff spot. And we knew we could do it. We had Mia, we had Ariana,
Hmm.
we had other point guards that were seniors as well. And we were doing fine, and we were really nervous and stuff, but eventually we ended up with the win, and we didn't have to play San Benito for a playing game, so it was good.
And I remember the reactions on you guys' faces when that buzzer went off. You guys knew y'all were going to the playoffs. Was that just everything kind of like, okay, we've clinched it, we've done our job, and just all the emotions came out?
Yes, we finally did it after I don't know how many years, because no one really knew how many years everybody got the numbers wrong. But we were like, it hasn't been done in a long time, and we were just relieved that we got that playoff spot for our coach. And then for Mia, that was for senior year. She really wanted to make the playoffs, so we made that happen for her. Because we were really close with all the seniors, and they all wanted to make the playoffs.
And I want to say Coach Gonzalez told me it was over 10 years since you all had made the playoffs. So it had been quite some time. Looking back on playing with a player like Mia Paz, we just saw that she recently transferred to Southwestern. You being the big inside, being able to kick it out to Mia, how did that make your life so much easier to have a scorer like that?
Uh, it made it really easy. I still had to work inside to get the rebounds and all of that, but it felt good to know that we had someone like that on the outside to get assists, like the background rebound. Like I could just get him from the opposite and pass it to Mia, and it would be a made shot. Like it was a good relief, honestly. It made it much easier.
And then your senior year, the roles are flipped. You're a senior on a very young team, but you guys still managed to make the playoffs. What were some adjustments that you had to make, knowing that you were going to be one of the leaders or the leader on that team?
I've always been a very shy person, so my sophomore year and junior year, I didn't really talk a lot. I was just there doing my job. But as a senior that had been there for 2 years before that, I had to talk way more, especially since I was a center. I had to like let everyone know what was going on, and I had to work extra hard since all our team was young and they really didn't have any experience.
And we'll retract just a little bit and go to the fall sports, volleyball, which is, I imagine that's your sport.
Yeah.
Volleyball that's your place to be. Just how long have you played volleyball, and when did you start picking up on the game?
I started my 7th grade year, and at first it wasn't my main sport. It was actually basketball, even though I had never played that sport before either. I actually started in 7th grade too. But I picked it up better my freshman year. After my freshman season, I started playing club with the Spikers, and they welcomed me and they taught me a lot of things, so I could be able to get on the varsity squad my sophomore year. So that's when I started picking it up faster, and that's when it started becoming my main sport.
And on the varsity, you made an impact there at Brownsville Hanna. And these past couple years, we saw, Los Fresnos have some dominant hitters. We saw Rivera, Harlingen South recently, and you were right in the mix with all these hitters. Just what was it like being a part of a class of talented players that was District 32 6A?
It was hard. We really didn't know what to expect my junior year. We knew that we had a really big team because it was mostly seniors that were there also like for 2 years before that. But it was, we didn't really know what to expect going to the season my junior year or my sophomore year or even my senior year. I had no idea what was going to happen. But we just worked really hard with the teams that we had, and we try to do what was best for the team, or we try to work as hard and just do the best that we could together, because we didn't really know everything about every player in the district, so we just had to do our part as a team.
And it seemed like every year you guys were always in a playing game with Harlingen.
Yeah.
It just seems like it always worked out that way. What were those playing games like? Because they're unique because it's just an added game on your schedule, and the case is simple. It's you win and you're in. In my eyes, I see those as a playoff game.
Yeah.
Did you guys approach it the same way?
Yeah, we counted as a playoff game. It was like we're in, but we're not in yet. Like
Right.
it's we do treat it as a playoff game, obviously. But when we won, they were very exciting. Our coach was relieved because he a playoff making the playoffs is a big thing. Like no matter what, even if you're the first seed or the fourth seed, the playoffs are the playoffs.
And when was it? When was it this year? I felt that your senior year, it took a little while for you all to get going. I remember Coach mentioning that some pieces were still being moved around. You were still trying to figure out what you all were doing. When was it in the season that you guys kind of started peaking and started to play as one?
I guess it was because after the first round, we saw how every team played. So we try to connect the dots and try to play better. But after the second round, after Rivera, which I think was our first game of the second round, we started getting better. I wanted to make the playoffs, and there wasn't a lot of seniors, but I wanted to make the playoffs for the third year. I'm on the varsity squad, and I didn't want to miss in my senior year. And it was hard because there's actually not a lot of drama, but there was some how would I call it, misunderstandings with some players, and some of them wouldn't get along, and it was really hard to find positions. Like I had to switch from outside to setter sometimes, which is new to me on a varsity level to set. But we just had to do a lot of adjustments after the first round the of this past season.
And you guys make the playoffs. I think it was again in a playing game, right?
Yes, against Harlingen.
Another playing game against Harlingen. So for you to make the playoffs in both basketball and volleyball was definitely something good for you for your career. Looking back at your career in volleyball and basketball, just maybe what stood out to you in your time there at Hanna?
It's every team, every year, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be the same unless you're with the same group of people since your freshman year and they all make varsity and you're in the same team. But every year, every team is different. My sophomore year, it was a lot of seniors and a lot of mix of juniors. And then my junior year, it was mostly all seniors, except like 2 or 3 that weren't seniors. And the year after, it was 2 returning seniors and everybody else was a junior or seniors that made the varsity squad. So I think it's just that you get to play with different people, different personalities, and trying to connect all together, like before the season. And I don't know. I just think that's the best part, having to like connect every personality, every skill that every person has. Every person is different on the court. So that's it.
And for your volleyball career, when was it that you felt that you could play at the college level?
It was after my sophomore year, the school season, during my club season, after my sophomore year. I went to some camps after the club season my sophomore year, and Costal Bend was there. There was more schools there that were higher level, D2, D3, G1. And I just wanted to get better because I know I wasn't at my best yet, or even right now, but I just know I wanted to play college ball because I wasn't always what do you say? I wasn't very academically inclined as like other people. Mm-hmm. So I knew that I wanted to make my parents' hard work like worth it, or everything they put into my practices and all that worth it. So that's why I wanted to pursue it too. And I loved it. I fell in love with it because basketball was my first choice, my freshman year. But after my sophomore year, I wanted to focus on volleyball, and that's what I wanted to do.
And then Coastal Bend comes calling. Well, how did that relationship develop when they started recruiting you, and what was the recruiting process like?
Well, at first I hadn't contacted them. It was kind of not last minute, but it was kind of like the second semester where they were interested in me. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I went to Shriner before my senior year, and then after that, I had an offer from International, Texas A&M International, and then, but I did what I did what I thought was best, which is like stay closer to home, whatever was smarter financially. And then plus, I loved the team when I went to visit Coastal Bend the second semester. I loved it. The coaches were amazing. They were very welcoming, and I just loved the energy. It felt like a lot like Hanna. Like the gym was so small, and I like that homey feeling. So I thought about it about a week, and then I just decided I was gonna go there.
Definitely. And where have you been able to visit campus yet, or not yet because of everything that's going on?
Yes, fortunately, I went right after my playoff game, my basketball playoff game this year. I went right out of the day, I think it was a Tuesday, or I'm not sure what day it was that the playoff game was. I went that Friday, I think. So it was like right before everything had started, the pandemic and everything.
Right.
So get to visit.
And what do you plan on majoring in?
Nursing.
Nursing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as on the court goes, as far as your position goes, what do you plan on doing there? Kind of just what you've done at Hanna, or kind of just taking the role that they give you?
Yeah, they told me that they need a new middle since I think both of the middles were leaving. So I mean I don't mind playing middle. That's all I've played mainly. But of course, like I don't mind moving around if I have to be a right side or outside. I don't mind doing anything they need me to do.
And as far as your workouts and being in shape, has Coastal Bend been in contact with you as far as maybe what they want you to, a workout plan or anything like that?
Yes, sir. They gave me some requirements like we had to like how long we have to run a mile and like all the like stats basically that we need to meet if we want to be able to like get playing time or like even like get on the court, like trying to catch up with everyone has to be on the same page. So they gave us workouts and what we have to do, and we keep in contact with the coach and everything. We have meetings and everything.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge from being a high school athlete to a college athlete?
I think that a lot of them have developed skills. Mm-hmm. Like every college player has developed skills. That's why they went to go play college ball for a reason. So it's hard. You're gonna have to work extra hard to get the position that you want, or to even get some playing time. But I mean, if you're a hard worker and you know what you're doing, then I think you'll be fine.
So now this brings us to our last part here on the show. We're going to talk about the Hanna's gym and what makes it so difficult to play in. Because I know, like I mentioned earlier, teams that go there do not like to play there because it's such a difficult place to play. With basketball, why is it so difficult?
I'm not sure, honestly. I like playing there for basketball, and the roof doesn't seem so small because you don't really shoot really high. But I'm not sure. I think it's just that it's very crowded. So when you're playing, it just feels like there's all these people around you, like super close. But I mean, I'm used to it because I have practices there and everything. So when it comes to a game, it's not really any different. Just with like people watching you. But when I'm focused in the game, I don't really see the people most of the time. But I guess when people get there, their gyms are a little bigger, so they're used to having all this space, like to like do their thing. But when they get to Hanna, there's all these people like super close to you, like literally surrounding you. So I guess they feel like suffocated or something.
And in basketball, is it more? I mean, volleyball, is it more of the same?
I think for volleyball, it is that it's very small, like the roof and stuff. So the ceiling, it's very hard for the serves and like the sets and everything. But like I said, like I'm used to it. Like our players are used to it because that's where they practice all the time. So they're not new to seeing that gym and running plays in that gym. but other players have bigger gyms, so it's very hard for them to adjust like the ceiling and the atmosphere.
And I know when you guys would have a crowd, and I have the home court advantage too. And the guy dressed as the eagle with the inflatable.
Yeah.
Who was that guy?
His name was Anthony. He was a senior last year, so this year we have it. But they were friends with a lot of the seniors there too, and like everybody got really close. And they try to support all of us. They were really funny. Like they got morgue suits and everything, and I just thought it was super exciting seeing people like actually support the volleyball games, because everyone mostly go to the football games. But I mean, it was fun. It was really funny, like seeing the videos after the games and everything that people would record.
Oh yeah, I know. And then see, when y'all went to Harlingen South for volleyball and even basketball, everyone kind of knew who he was, but they would be like, "Is that chicken guy coming back?" And I'm like, "It's not a chicken, it's an eagle." And they're like, "Whatever, is he coming?" I was like, "Yes." And like, "Oh my gosh!" So he kind of built himself up as a popular character. But I thought it was a lot of fun because I know that the crowds would be really loud in basketball and volleyball. But on the topic of gyms, for you, what was the loudest gym to play in, whether that was volleyball or basketball?
The loudest gym? I'm not sure. In the district, I think it would be probably, let's see, Harlingen South.
Yeah.
It was a loud gym. Like I don't know. And it was also, it was really cold in that gym, but it was also loud. Like even though there wasn't a lot of people, it just felt like there was so many people there.
Yeah.
Even though
their student section themselves is also really loud. The South crowd, and I know you guys knew that, especially in volleyball season, because they're right there, right next to you guys, depending on what side you guys would be on. Definitely. Before we go with Ollie's, any shout outs to your family or friends that may be watching?
I just want to thank them for, supporting me no matter what, like through everything. They helped me a lot through doing everything for college and stuff, and practicing and stuff. So I just want to thank, I don't know, my sister or my parents, and all my friends that always believed in me, that we believed in each other, and we're all doing what we love in college. I just want to thank them for all the support and all the love they gave me.
And also on a final note, our good friend Roy Hess passed away a couple weeks ago. Just so you know, he was a big Odaly's Gonzalez fan.
That's great.
Yeah.
I was so sad when I saw that. He had interviewed me a couple times, and he was the sweetest person that I ever met. He was so sweet.
Yeah, he because me and him, we would cover volleyball. So on Wednesdays, Thursdays, we would kind of talk about what we saw on Tuesday and what we're gonna look for on Saturday. And Roy always enjoyed covering you guys, and I know he would always brag about you all the time when we talk about 32 6A volleyball. And I just know that he was a really big fan of yours, and I know he really enjoyed covering you.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Thank you for that.
Definitely. So again, we're joined by Odaly Gonzalez, now former Hanna Lady Eagle. She's going to be going and playing her volleyball up at Coastal Bend College. Later today at 3, we're going to have a couple more shows, and at 5 o'clock. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But Odaly's, thanks for joining us, and again, cutting the time out of your schedule to join us. And good luck down the road, and hopefully you'll be able to take that volleyball court this fall.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We'll see you.
Bye.